Hello, my name is Andrea DeVerona, and the name of my capstone project was Using Technology to Improve Instructional Practices. During my Instructional Technology Specialist degree at Kennesaw State University, I worked with my colleagues in Gwinnett County to help use programs that Gwinnett County provides us to help with instructional practices. The problem that I wish to address with my capstone project stems from the local school plan for improvement at North Gwinnett High School. The plan for improvement requires teachers to collaborate with their peers, share information with students and parents, analyze student data, and design effective, engaging lessons. Teachers are required to work with their course teams to develop a lesson every 6 weeks that requires students to use online resources through their student portal. In addition, course teams will use All-in Learning and data protocols to analyze common assessments. So, teachers at North Gwinnett are required to use 2 online resources. The first is All-in Learning, and the second is eClass. Since teachers are required to use these programs in their classrooms, professional development on these technologies is required. We live in a technology-rich society, and to be highly qualified or highly effective teacher, we as a collective need to understand not only how to use the online tools that are provided to us, but also how to use those tools effectively to make positive impacts in the classroom. Knowledge of technology is not enough if teachers do not feel comfortable and confident in using that knowledge in the classroom to aid in student learning, and my capstone hopes to address that. For this capstone project, I focus on 2 resources. The first is called All-in Learning, and the second is called eClass. All-in Learning is an online software that allows teachers to grade assessments. This program also allows teachers to attach standards to their questions, and they can analyze the results from the assessments to target student learning. This program allows a course team to share assessments, then come together and share data to start a dialogue that encourages the sharing of best practices to help teachers improve their classroom practices and ultimately improve their student performance. The second online resource is called eClass. On eClass, students can embed content, upload content, create quizzes, create discussion posts, create drop boxes that allow students to submit their work, and make announcements. The capstone consisted of 4 workshops to demonstrate the use of both of these programs. The first of the 2 workshops focuses on All-in Learning. In the first workshop, teachers would learn about the different ways to upload an assessment, how to attach the standards to individual questions, and then how to share the assessments with their course teams. The second session focused on looking into different ways to analyze student data using All-in Learning software and how to use the remediation function. The second and the third workshops focused on looking at the variety of tools that eClass comes with. In the third session, the teacher would then learn about how to embed and upload content into their eClass page to create online lessons. In the fourth session, teachers would learn how to create assignments on eClass using a variety of tools. As part of my evaluation plan, I chose to utilize Google Forms to create a survey that teachers would complete at the end of each session. This would help determine if any information that I presented was useful or what information I should follow up with and provide support. In the original plan, I set out to work with new teachers at the school. Fortunately, due to scheduling issues, I ended up working with my physics course team primarily. Because the group that I worked with was smaller than my original audience, I ended up tailoring my workshops towards their specific need. Since most of the physics course team was already knowledgeable on how to upload online assignments on All-in Learning, I ended up combining the first 2 workshops. I focused on how to use the remediation tool in All-in Learning in addition to the game feature and the Engage and Learn. This included printing and using QR codes. Then we looked at different ways to analyze the data based on standards. Because there was more interest in eClass, I ended up combining the 2 initial workshops into one and extending the eClass workshops to 3 instead of 2. This kept my total workshops to 4. So in the first workshop with eClass, I worked with teachers on creating a Google Calendar and then embedding it into the calendar on their eClass page by creating a widget. I walked each teacher through the steps to make sure that at the end of the session, each teacher had a Google Calendar on their course page. My peers expressed their appreciation for this. They were happy to have me walk them through the process since the calendar was a required component of the course page. In the next session, I created a discussion post and shared it with my course team. By having them respond in the discussion post, I could illustrate how teachers could use it in their classroom in addition to how teachers could use the statistic function to track student progress. My course team was excited about this function. By the end of the session, each teacher created their own discussion post. For the fourth session, I created and shared online quizzes through eClass that my course team could utilize. I then walked them through, in my opinion, one of the most useful question types in eClass, which is called the arithmetic question. My course team members were appreciative of the quizzes that I created and shared with them. And I went through each steps on creating an arithmetic problem and walking them through the process to create their own. While the majority of my peers found the information helpful and informative, when I would follow up to see if they were using what I showed them in the classroom, I learned that many were not. The resources I created and shared with my course were quickly adopted and adapted and used in their classrooms, but most, if not all, did not create their own materials. For example, the quizzes I created and shared with the course team to help students prepare for the spring semester exam were used in all physics teachers' classrooms. Ultimately, what ended up occurring is I became my course team's tech support. They would have an idea for an online activity and I would let them know the feasibility and create the activity and share with them. For example, my course team wanted an interactive matching activity with graphs. I created and embedded the activity on eClass and then shared it with my course team. While this is not an ideal situation, if I'm viewing it from a coaching standpoint, it was still encouraging because my course team as a whole started embracing technology tools available to them to help students in the classroom.
There are 3 main takeaways that I have from this experience. The first is that what I deem as important is not always what another teacher finds important. Even though I found the arithmetic problems the most useful because of the time that they take to create, my course team did not find them as useful as me when they had to create them on their own. The second takeaway that I got from this is to come up with a plan to share the responsibilities with technology so that each teacher gets to experience building and creating materials and it doesn't always fall on one person. The third takeaway is to continually follow up to support my colleagues and peers. Many of the teachers were interested in using the tools, but they needed more support and they needed more time to follow through, and they needed me to guide them through the steps a few more times until they felt comfortable with the process.